belt he unbuckled until she can't stand to see.
Beat her neatly under her clothes so that only he can see the marks.
And if he ever gets past again, he will find my warning signs hiding.
I've twisted my memory. Only anger and hatred. I have no compassion. I think of reasons for leaving and associate them with lies and manipulation.
And each time we repeat this process,
remember, you were with me in that kitchen that we shared.
the fight over the broken measuring cup.
The mopping up.
Beat her. For a father who is eager to sleep behind locked bars. He was sent to the hole for 14 days for being a man.
For being a black man.
Beat her. Because you can't.
I hear you lying all the time, trying to love a double life.
Beat her.
Past
the point of stereotypes. Until she has made it past the point of every black girl's death. Beat her.
to life. Do you feel anger and resentment, tenderness, or hostility?
Because you wish hands would have been raised, voices yelled into you before she grew. Living inside of your body, you promised you'd fight for her. I love you, but I can't think of anything good about you.
Without remembering,
I was holding you.
I was receiving the lash.
This cycle is killing of my spirit. Thank you.
I also wrote the poem about not being sorry. I was pondering this title, this prompt, and I was thinking at 66, I'm not sorry for nothing. I want to thank you for this year. I'm not sorry. I gave it up like liquor, nicotine, making bad boys king, and nights that stole the years. I'm not sorry. I'm good. Like early morning lovers, nappy hair, girls with daddies, bananas, peach powder, and things that ride my tears. I'm not sorry. I'm living in the plus, spitting poetry, loving hard, dissing the C word, sitting on the porch in my slip, and copacetic things that ice my fears. I'm not sorry. I'm authentic, like slow dancing, sporting lots, laughing loud, oozing black, saying fitting to and doing juju and other things that that jungle does. I'm not sorry. I'm hurt, like mama dead, daddy gone, feeling 12 on my own, 16 pregnant, bury the middle sister, survive the divorce, bury the daddy, survive, 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 bury the big sister, living every day anyway, and other strengths that slay my fear. I'm not sorry. I'm light in the dark, lying, shining, turn me on like the sun every day. Shining light for me to see what my life could truly be, and other notes that dance on me. I'm not sorry, I'm divine, not like an eclipse or a hood mirror. Harvested organs that take my breath and then give it back again. I'm not sorry, I'm love. Pour me out, scrape the butter, lift the spoon, love. Ain't too proud to beg, love. Ride or die, love. Down in the country with the elders, love. Forgiving incest, love. Raggedy draws where the kids go to private school anyway, love. 8-pop, love. Forgiving rape, love. Didn't eat last night, but the baby did, love. Surviving slavery, love. Taking your work, love. Everlasting love. pushing out a baby love, lack of a berry love, hanging from a tree love, taking a knee love, dying in the Lorraine Hotel love, forgive myself love, hang on a cross and die love, and other truths that saved my life. I'm not sorry, I'm free, unapologetic.
Now, a rose can't grow if you limit the water it receives. If you control what a person knows, you can mold what they believe. If you diminish the education of the underprivileged and poor, this stresses expectation that crime and visual occupation is all that life has in store. If you raise the rich to be sophisticated and superfluid, anything foreign to their familiarities is forlorn. This disables their opportunity to be aware of cultures and communities different from the one in which they were born. If you teach a man to hate the color of his skin or made in God's image, his cultural identity is smothered by hatred of oneself and others, backstabbing one's own brothers in pursuit of privilege. Like water helps in cultivation of every single role, people are products of information to which they are exposed. Thank you.
That poem is in my first book. It's called Looking Forward. I have a small business website. I'll be here for a while if anybody wants to know information on that. And I got another joint.
Yes.
This poem called Beautiful Flowers is about like it. Kind of like redefining what it means to be with somebody, because like I feel like when I'm with someone, I want to feel like I belong with them, but I don't want to feel like I belong to them. And I feel like it's very important to kind of like redefine what we view love as. You know what I'm saying? So now.
Seeking of flowers, the desire of many, who possess hands that are far too eager, with little intention, if any, that goes beyond misguided societal procedures. Their arms extend in distance, gesturing towards your direction, to define the context of your existence by imposing their perception, saying things like, look at my flower that I picked from the earth. In my hands it is empowered and provided a sense of worth. A picked flower does not survive. It can be set in a nicely decorated vase with water filled up to its base, yet will never be able to thrive because that is not its rightful place. I am quite fond of floral plants and herbal vines, yet have no desire to remove you from the root of which your progression stems. You are an earthly gem whose innate attributes are truly something to admire. Your natural state is divine. I adore you as you are, firmly planted in soil with petals resembling world ornaments placed upon the heads of queens that worshipers bow and lean, kneeling to indicating allegiance thus far reserved for ideals that are loyal. It takes time to grow, to learn, to develop oneself and know the manner of cultivation that is adequate for manifestation. So it's best for us to take it slow while we discover our respective destinations. Giving space is my emphasis in order for a sense of self to be achieved. I understand the importance of photosynthesis, and my intention is to never interfere or cause dissonance with the amount of light that you're intended to receive. Years, months, weeks, days, and hours, let's grow and grow forever, for I too am a flower and we can grow together. Thank you. And then, that was like 5 minutes, right? I got like 2 minutes, like one stroke.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Thanks for asking.
I'm like writing a couple books right now. I'm working on 2 children's books, and then like I have another book of poetry that I'm working on. And I wrote this poem about. I write a lot of poems about like plants and flowers and things like that. And I wrote this poem about a box thorn, and like a box thorn, it's like it can turn into a weed. Like basically like if you plant it. If you don't take care of it, it can grow and basically take over like the soil, and it'll endanger and kind of mess up other stuff that's going on. And I kind of look at like some things that people do, like certain habits that people have, like if you don't tend to them, they turn into projections on other people. You know what I mean? So I just kind of wanted to talk about that, like forgiveness or whatever. So.
Now, the incentive for transgression is rooted in trauma and vehemence. Resentment is given water. Its projection exceeds the bounds of your neighbor's fence. Leaf buds and branches airy, pervade the head before my home, blooming and overgrown. A perennial lush now fades, becoming barren and disease prone. I did not sow fertile earth with this unusual box thorn, yet here I am for all its worth, trimming away in reluctant scorn. Garden shears unveil impetus, a soil depleted over till, horrored by past afflictions, breeding aligned intentions, pruning, cleaving what I feel. A mood and dignity becomes solicitous. I prune with care, removing lifeless water sprouts from view, all the while becoming aware of the precedent in which they grew. Rules xylems depict a tale of abuse, a polluted environment, and viewing behavior I once thought groundless. Growing in taint and roots makes pestilence second nature. When dead mass protrudes from live copies unattended, the entire plant goes corrupted. Its seed noxious. A contaminated invasive accomplice, the rage of harm is extended. How different is this insalubrious grain from the heart of a person wrong, whose pain is cultivated and dispersed. Before long, those in proximity are subject to its disdain. A subtle reminder to which I take heed. To ensure the potential of a viable seed, constant pruning is recommended. The most breathtaking inflorescence, if untended, can become a suffocating weed.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Everybody will work here on, I guess I'll start with a piece from my most recent chapbook called What We Claim, What We Are. The piece is entitled, The Oppressor Rule Book. Attention, if you are reading this or hearing this, you have no doubt purchased the Oppressor Rule Book. Rest assured, our aim is to take you through each commandment in this manual to make you achieve all your efforts work for your investment. We shall begin with the reading of the commandments, which are as follows. Oppressors expect to look on the ones they oppress. Oppressors feel good by making others feel bad. Oppressors pick symbols as easy targets instead of going after the actual culprits. Oppressors believe that they are the soul of existence. Oppressors believe that only they can be right and are shocked that others can possibly think for themselves. Oppressors always believe that they are perfect, so how dare we oppose them? The oppressors' favorite hiding places are tradition, popular opinion, authority, poll numbers, and sound bites. Oppressors never believe that their actions are wrong. Oppressors never believe they can never be wrong. That is what makes them oppressors. Warning! Some oppressors believe they can never be oppressors simply because the institutions make that impossible. On the contrary, you don't have to be a priest to be an oppressor. You don't have to be a gender to be an oppressor. You don't have to be an economic state to be an oppressor. Don't have to be a hierarchy to be an oppressor. Don't have to be a religion to be an oppressor, or ideology, size, nationality, or any other devil to be an oppressor. You just have to oppress to be an oppressor. Sure can't be born an oppressor, for oppression is action plus intention, not action and a verb. Oppression is oppression, is oppression, is oppression. Therefore, you too can be an oppressor. Now, replies to the makers and readers of this book, what do you have to say? No, poppycock, preposterous, erroneous, I do it because I love you, baloney, I didn't do anything wrong, everything is your fault, your problem, get with the program, go with the flow, because I said so, respect your others, just jealous, and all in your mind, you'll thank me for it someday, obey authority, mind me the highway, do as I say, never mind what I do, it's your destiny, it's genetic, in your face, you just made it up, made it up, made it up. Well, what can you expect from a perpetrator of a typical oppressor mind? That concludes this reading of the Oppressor Rule Book. See, never please. This is called Safe and Sound. Here you sit in your suburban abode, well beyond the security gate, on the quiet side of the sound wall along the thruway, at home watching the news on TV, reveling in the story about the newly erected defense and the resurrection of old crows. But it's not enough. It never is enough. And they keep on coming. They never stop coming. Soon there will be nowhere left to run, nowhere left to hide. Walled in, cut off, suffocation is imminent, and they're still coming. It's enough to cause one to commit the capital offense of building a bridge. And I'll close with this extremely short one. It's from another chapbook of mine. The chapbook is called Now Showing, and the final piece is called Truth Plus Self Equals. Listen to your inner self, good people. Be true to that self, good people. If more of you did that, crime just might drop its jaw.
Sticking it to the homeless like acupuncture. Little bit of cheese make your mind invisible to this disease. There's no ease when the wind chill is below 20 degrees. Bathing in their feces. Once a year you give coats and socks to the needy. Disparity and displacement manifest as gentrified hatred. Manslows described the basics. Our tan banished us to the outskirts of the land. Forget your garden of Eden, because we can't eat, we call it treason. In the spirit of the Black Legion, we are allowed to loot because it's open season. Law and order amplified this torture. Right men and stone gives them green light to consolidate our home. Nothing in this life that we really own. Still holding on to material shit, still trying to hold on. Can't track our necessities because they cooking up these neo-colonial recipes. While we stand outside of the bakery. Reagan administration shut the door on rehabilitation. Now we've suffered from social, mental, and physical deprivation, not to mention alienation. Minimum wage reminds us of all the ways we cannot save. 9 to 5 manufactured slaves. Section 8 conditional rape without the red tape. Rental prices shoot through the roof as poor people get the boot. Truth? I don't see no use of having a family. All I see is decadent conditions. Concrete project prisons. No opportunity for consistent economic consistency. 40 acres and a mule was always some bull. But as the oppressed, we gotta fight with every tool. Use our spirit as the fuel to burn down this tyrant empire.
Dedicate my reading to Tamara Mammon, the altar over there is in her honor. She was an artist that passed in November of last year, 42 years old. And I think when we lose our artists, we lose a part of our culture. I think, and if you go to her website and see some of the things that she did, I think you would agree with me. Okay, my first poem I'm going to do is called Race Card. The smell of Interstate 5 leaving Stockton on Sunday. Underwear labeled Monday on Thursday. The flies surrounding the crucifixion on Friday. Exits, sometimes not to be smelled, but they exist. Something said by Mr. Steele and his mistake. Playing the race card is a thing misinterpreted. I have merely raised a bookmark. Remember a book? That place where facts hit by an asterisk, or footnotes to pump your brakes, to stop and stay a while. Time out. Point of order. See the circumference of my mortal coil. Don't mistake a dance for a shuttle or shuffle. A race card is seen and not heard. It is of titanium steel and South African diamonds. It's the extreme end of the design cycle of a club. Anubia's feathers weighing less than this heart. It's the work carried in the fields with spades. You will not see the race card when it is played. When it is played, it will be played with all deliberate accuracy and extremely slow. Slow as more lashes. Okay, this next poem is kind of, after I saw the movie Get Out, kind of inspired this one. And it's called Introduction. Hey there. Hi there. Hello. How you doing? What's going on? How are you? What it is? Where's it going? How's it gonna get there? What it be like? What it look like? Buongiorno. Nina. Aloha, hola, sin chao, habarigani. What's the news? All power to the people. What time is it? It's nation time. Assalamu alaikum. What's poppin'? What's shaking? What's cracking? What's crack-a-lackin'? What's up? What's up? What it be? What it do? How do? Howdy. How are you? How you hanging? What's up, my Nubian? How's your mom and them? How's your people? Hey, player. Yo. Yo, yo, yo. What's cooking? Who's cooking? Who you with? I see you. I see you. Don't have to say nothing, but must recognize, like assuming all guns are loaded. Don't have to say anything. Head nod. Elevating African consciousness. Elevating African consciousness. Steps toward revolutionary consciousness. Okay, I was supposed to do a poem, and it's about this drug, African noise, but I had to show that. So these poems come to me, they're kind of in the ether, and I have to kind of bring them to me. This one I have to work a little bit more. This deals with the drug of white supremacy, white skin privilege. So I just don't want to just come up with something, but I wanted to get all of it. So I'm going to read this poem, and it's called The Black Woman Book. Just standing there, while not looking for, eyes see the one. At the right angle, a little to the left, an effortless movement of the squint. I was introduced quite by surprise, like my first breath, like first grade, addition tasks, and paging of fingers to help me out. A hard cover, a soft back, a dusty jacket, holding you by the spine, hands sometimes trace your fonts towards purpose, inner form, and intra-textural collage. A leather-bound folio. Can I check you out? Mental plane on the almanac. Transport where chaos and order intersect. And one sees color and sound. Sound waves woven, spectrums of divine cloth, cover a dimensional chifforobe. Never back, always forward. Not to be busted up, not to be put down. Height, width, depth, concepts and truth of understanding cleave within your collating. Can I check you out? Curl up and new, stack it straight, dream book style. Excursionist numbers, the manifest. They include Lerone Bennett Jr., John Hope Franklin, J.A. Rogers, Ida B. Wells, Dr. Yusuf Ben Jacana, Chancellor Williams, Francis Cress Wesley, James Baldwin, H.G. Wells, Herbert Aptheker, Vincent Harding, Kwame Nkrumah, George Padmore, et al. I walk in their shoes like footnotes with black strap molasses to the senses and sensibility under a handsome volume, moot and mute at first, like notes of Barbados rum. Can I check you out?
I think we should give Gene a hand because he's responsible for that whole spread of I'm Halifu Osamare, and I was really glad that Jaquila, is that her name? Lewis? Aquila, okay. Yes, you mentioned that it's important for us to write our stories, and I think I heard that because I just wrote my autobiography that's being published this month. It's called Dancing in Blackness. I just retired as a professor of African American Studies at UC Davis, but in another lifetime I was a dancer choreographer, and I did a lot of work here in Oakland. I left some copies for discounted books for Black History Month. My publisher, University Press of Florida, put these out. They're back there on the back if you'd like to take one. You can order it and get it at a discount for this month. I'm doing a reading at the Center for Dance that I started that I'm very proud to say is still going on. How many of you know the Malonga Cascade Lord Center for the Arts? Yeah, it's where African and Black dance is still flourishing here in Oakland. I was one of the founders of that, and it's just a miracle that it still is going, and that it puts Oakland as one of the centers for African and African-derived dance in the whole United States. So I'd like to share a couple of sections of my book, Dancing in Blackness. Because when I started what I call then Everybody's Creative Arts Center, that went into the Alice Art Center, that eventually became the Malonga Cascade Lord Center for the Arts in 1986. The reason why I started the center is because I had spent a year in Ghana, and I had seen how much African dance creates community, and how it creates a kind of sense of cohesiveness and also a sense of a strong identity. And so after that year in Ghana, as I was leaving and coming back here to, I didn't know at the time, is to start an institution that has become a foundation for this city. I wrote this poem, and it was kind of summing up how I felt living a year in West Africa as an African American. It's called We Come Back. And it's a part of the text, the 6th chapter, Dancing in Oakland, 1977 to 1993. We come back to Mother Earth, weaving our melodious rhythms in the land of their origins. We come back different now, yet Africa dwells within, uncovering our essence. Often camouflaged in a blue note, blowing African polyrhythms on a horn, telling the story of a throbbing history. We come back, God's children of the heart, expressing the rhythms of nature in continuing forms, like the wind that scatters the seed, fertilizing the earth, for it to feel itself. Planted deep into different lands, we sprout and grow to come back home and make home fuller. We come back, prodigal sons and daughters, searching to find our way back to the womb of life, as Mother Africa is made happy by our coming, to better know the spirit of her essence. Only then can we all know the womb of Earth's longing and the patience of God's love. And so then when I got here to Oakland and the opportunity presented itself to
by what was then called Everybody's Dance Studio. I formed a collective of people who wanted to volunteer and to create a community center that was based on African dance. We did a lot of things. We not only had dance classes, but we presented major multicultural festivals of dance and music that was headlined by people like Pete Escovedo and Taj Mahal, just to name a few. So we tried to really show both a professional and a community side. And this little section from the book is just straight prose, kind of bringing people to understand what it was like back in the 80s to create culture that showed black folks to be strong, resilient, that's the theme of this poetry reading, and to be both strongly professional as well as community oriented. In this way, Everybody's Creative Arts Center began to professionalize the multicultural approach to dance and music, becoming a well-known presenter of performing arts throughout the Bay Area, moving beyond merely our mainstay dance classes. We proved that community orientation and professionalism in the arts were not mutually exclusive. Everybody's Creative Arts Center revealed the wide-ranging dance cultures of the Bay Area that went far beyond the San Francisco and Oakland ballets, and a couple of predominantly white modern dance companies, which usually got most of the arts funding. Although we emphasize high-quality artists in our big venue performances, we did not neglect our community base, providing them a year-round dance class schedule and special student concerts that they could perform in our studio theater for family, friends, and the general public. Students loved experiencing the end product of their sweat equity acquired during 3 months of intense dance training. The excitement behind the scenes during our annual student concert night was palpable. Secretaries, lawyers, community activists, city government staff workers, college students by day became dancers for a night. They felt like artists too, and I ran the center like the Zimbabwe proverb: if you can walk, you can sing, and if you can talk, you can sing, and if you can walk, you can dance. Everybody's Creative Arts Center established itself as the people's dance studio with high-quality instructors producing a community-oriented artistic product. I had learned a lot from my time in Ghana about dance and music as a socialization tool and their place in integrating a community. I transferred my familiarity with the structured curriculum of the School of Dance, Music, and Drama at the University of Ghana and my participation in the transformative power of dance and music in Ghanaian villages into the mission of Everybody's Creative Arts Center, my own dance school and cultural center. But in the early days, I still could not fully comprehend the potential to evolve into a defining institution of Oakland, the East Bay, and the Bay Area as a whole that it has become. And lastly, I'll leave you with a poem that I just wrote a couple of weeks ago. That kind of summarizes how I feel like where we are right now and how far we've come. It's called "The U.S. has always been about us." Black backs bent, fingers bleeding from King Cotton, hands stained browner from Virginia tobacco, body toil tired and tethered to the plow, mind smarting from the lash's pain, but wise from the vantage of our place. Laying foundations for nouveau riche dreams, building wealth for someone else's schemes, laying groundwork for another empire of control, the U.S. has always been about us. Cakewalking the sly digs while entertaining masses' guests and the world's fantasies. Derisions of arrogant imitation while high-kicking and smiling all the while. The grinning mask worn by white imitators, not knowing the comic tragedy of the smile. The U.S. has always been about us. The jazz singer wins the fame and money while we keep entertaining the massa at clubs built by cotton, watching only from the wings, wearing our wings of comic tragic glory, rolling our polyrhythmic hips, footwork faster than lightning, moving in articulate phrases of a love supreme that can never be fully comprehended. America is not dancing the English minuet on Saturday nights. The U.S. has always been about us. Racing through 200 years of time, the illusion of race built on our humanity, constructing false hopes of whiteness on a fragile, crumbling hierarchy. Blackness as hypothesis, at least you ain't a nigger. Hope for the American dream as we fall into the scenarios of nightmare constructed a long time ago. Victims of a false narrative enacted over time, racing through 240 short years on someone else's land, building a race edifice of crumbling concrete, encasing all our humanities into a monument of the exceptional empire, envisioning inalienable rights, but blind to breath, exhaling into the new possibilities of the human collective, making it about not being the black other, duping us into thinking we could be one of the elite. Black lives have always mattered. The U.S. has always been about us. And today, freedom has been expanded from 140 to 280 carriages. Let's keep on telling our stories.
Ask you again, what you know, family? I'm so honored to be here. I'm so grateful this thing is still going on. A lot of people have been talking about stories, you know. I run the longest running bilingual poetry series in the East Bay, and it's not just English, Spanish. We have about 4 different African languages, 3 Native American languages, about 5 different Asian languages, Arabic, Hebrew, and everything. And we deliberately do that because if you lose a language, you lose a whole way of looking at the universe. There's things that don't translate, which is why we have sayings like good, 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 you know, and all those kind of things that we do to say things that we don't know how to translate into this language. So we meet the 4th Saturday every month at Cesar Chavez Library, which is right there at the Fruitvale Bar Station. And this month we have 6 of the greatest black storytellers on planet Earth, including the Queen of the Law, Mary Jo. So you need to come out. It's going to be storytelling for adults and children. And so come on out and get yourself some. I wish I could say I had clients, but I was moving on Negro Standard Time, which is why I got here late. And so I'm going to do a couple of poems. And
Excuse me about you. When is the poetry reading?
The 4th Saturday of the month. I think when is it this month? I think it's the 24th.
Okay.
I'm not sure. But you can look at my website, avoucher.org, and if you don't know how to spell that, talk to me and I will give it to you.
It's in the program.
Okay, good. And I'm really grateful for the folks who said, oh, now you're going to be able to hear Oaktown Blue. I'm not going to do Oaktown Blue. But if you want Oaktown Blue, you can get one of my books, or I have CDs out in the car I can bring in. I want to do a couple of other things. This one I want to do especially because it's in Spanglish, but you get the message. And I want to do it because I see all these babies out there. I'm a musician. I've been a music junkie ever since I was a baby. I'm the daughter of 2 dancers. I've been involved in the arts ever since I was a kid. And every time I come home, late at night, in the morning, I see all these 9, 10, 11-year-old kids in the street. And a couple of nights ago, it was really bad. I saw, a whole army of them. There's a homeless settlement. It ain't funny, it's serious. Because hungry people are very dangerous human beings. You don't even want to think about me being hungry. This sister, if I was hungry, I'd be, well, you better watch out. Somebody gonna give me some food by hook or crook. You know, and these babies are dangerous. And I was living in a place in the Laurel district of East Oakland and in a gated duplex, and there were a whole bunch of kids who used to hang out there. And they would eyeball my instruments when I come home from these gigs. I was going to be the next meat on their sandwich. And I knew I was going to have to win them over, so I wrote them a love poem. I thought that was going to be the end of the issue. I gave the beach a copy of it when I finished, and I got off the bar about a month after I wrote the poem, and this chubby little Chinese girl ran up to me, threw her arms around my waist, and said, "Grandma!" I thought the child had lost her mind. Except, she knew the whole poem by heart. I wrote it, I don't know it by heart. She knew the English, she knew the Spanish, she knew everything I was saying. And she said something that changed my life, and I say this almost every poetry reading I do, because I think we've lost our minds and we've lost our humanity. These children are our babies, you know. She said, "Thank you, nobody ever talks to us." Ooh. We have forgotten these children out there in the streets who are not out there because they like being in the streets 24 hours a day. These children have been molested, beat up, all kinds of other crazy stuff out there. They are our children. And all I did was say that I loved them by writing the poem, and after that, I couldn't get out of my car without having 5 little gangsters run up to me and help me with whatever I needed while I was living there. So anyway, think about it. These are your babies. So I was dedicated to these children and to a couple of dear friends of mine who just made ancestorhood in the last few days, Lige Daly, who was like my brother, and Louis, Sawyer. So it's called Street Children of the Night, para los chiquititos de la noche en cualquier lugar. I got it so far. And if I can't get it, I'll be right here. I'll pay. I won't leave them. Black and brown children of the night que ya no saben nada de jugar, vestiditos de la calle, queridos los morenitos whose ideas having fun got swallowed by the darkness. If I could, I would wrap you in sunshine. I would hold you close and fold you in these arms and caress whatever's left of the child that you would lullabies. I would like to cover every inch of you with home-cooked self-esteem and the deseo vacantes. I want to fill the hole that hurt dug. Take my hand, and I swim defiantly through the fires of hell for you and with you through the movement and disrespect of a hard-headed kind of lady. And I just can't see myself giving up on you. Somos lo que somos, you and I, para nosotros, somos todo lo que hay. We've been fused together by history, por lo bonito de los sueños robados, like spiritually in the maze of our destiny origin. Mis negritos, mis pequeños callejeros, los necesito. The truth is, I know I need you, y yo sin ti soy nada. And if I had a chance, I refuse to turn you loose till you're so in love with yourself that self-destruction would disintegrate under the pressure of your presence. And you were so secure in my love for you and so sure of the splendor you had become that even the sun would lay aside its arrogance just to get a chance to reflect the brilliance of your essence and bask in the bold truth of your integrity and peace. Viva en el verdad real, y yo sin ti no existe ni un sendero de esperanza. Oh, say can they see you, my beautiful wild lotus flowers, if I could. I'd bathe you in a sea of rose water, I'd convert your waves of pain into an ocean of pride and faith. Y yo te pido, dame un chance, please, please, please let me in. I promise to do the very best I can, even if I have to wake the dead and conjure up our ancestors' breath. I'm not too proud to act a fool, get down on my knees and holler and scream and beg all the spirits of goodness to intervene, to blow away the fog of dismay and distrust by something to cut through liveliness and dissipate the rage burnt behind your eyes. So together we can wash away the centuries of emasculating doubt, defeminizing lies, then have a little fun and learn to play a brand new game called Demolishing Walls of Self-Hate. Children of the night. Mi niñito de la calle. I want the stubbornness of my love to help you turn all the lights inside your soul. Mi sangre, I will not allow the streets of any city to steal you. You, like a lotus blossoming in the night, mis queriditas, alma de mi existencia, I will not allow the streets of any city to steal you. I will not allow the cesspool of Fulinga to make a fast food happy meal of your dreams. Chiquito de la esquina, you are our only wealth, you are the most beautiful part of me, and I'm not about to let you go. I will not permit the hungry stupidity of greed to feed you to the streets without putting up a fight. Amorcito perdido de la noche, if I could, I would pave your path with stardust and massage your mind with a steady diet of just how important you are. Make sure you know you're too damn important to let the world just throw you away. It's my job to remind you on a daily basis this crazy old lady is here to stay. I'm still here. I said, I'm still here staying and praying and praying and staying and staying and praying and praying and praying and praying and praying and praying. Mis queridos, negrititos de la noche, I'm talking to you. Can you even hear me? It's all tomorrows that you're throwing away. Queridos niñitos de la calle, I'm still waiting, a stubborn old lady with a heart full of love standing in the shadows and waiting on who you could be, waiting for you to finally see me, waiting. to wrap you in a blanket of sunshine. I was not one of the great lovers of our previous president, nor this one. In fact, I don't trust any politician. I don't care what color they are. But I knew, and I voted for him. I knew that when he got in, I knew that was going to be the door that opened the snakes to come crawling out of their holes. I knew it, but I kept hoping and wishing that I was just a crazy old lady, you know. And then November 9th came, and I woke up. And oh my God, my worst nightmare was true. And so I wrote this, it's called I Know We Can, and at the end I'm going to get you to help me because I think that we forget that this is just a rerun. This is definitely a rerun. I just spent some time, they have every year, you should check it out sometime, in Mississippi. It's called the Cotton Pickers Ball and Symposium. And because of one of the things I wrote, they loved what I wrote, they brought me down there this year, and it blew my mind. I've been to Mississippi a bunch of times, so I'm a blues junkie. And I like Delta blues. That's my favorite kind of blues. It's also the most African kind of blues. But I never go on. I get off the plane, go to my blues festival, get on the plane, get out of there. And when I finished by saying my talk there, a couple of brothers said, "Girl, where have you been?" I said, "Well, I've been here. This is not the first time I've been in Mississippi. I just come to the blues festival." He said, "Why do you leave?" I said, "You guys don't have the best press, you know," and the whole audience in unison said, "Mississippi, goddamn!" But they're going to have me back, and I'm telling you, they're living it right now. Don't think it's over, and don't think this is something new. They're still living it. The most beautiful people, they treated me so good down there. There's no way that I'm just going for a blues festival anymore. That's family. But if you really believe this, what's going on now is something new, go to your church down to. I'm not talking about the big cities. Go to Indianola. Go to Clarksdale. Go and check out what's really going on. It hasn't stopped. They just changed the name of the game. They put some sugar on it, and we fell for it. So anyway, it's called I Know We Can. Sorry for running my lips. We have been here before. We sang in the face of the Klan and danced with feet all bloody on the decks of slave ships, on the longest walk, on freedom marches and jail cells and concentration camps. Oops, ghettos. And we're supposed to call home. We know this place, the concrete jungles, the reservations, the curse of and by the uncivilized who have forgotten the healing beauty of grass and trees and the gift of clean water to drink and have lost their ability to love. We are familiar with the senseless mayhem of perpetual war, the addictive lust for power, the intoxication of bloodlust, and those who prefer the inhumane sacrifice of their souls when they try to steal ours. Yes, we have been here before. We know the hanging tree, the rope, the rape of our bodies, our cultures, the theft of our songs and our children. We have swam through the slime of misogyny. We have been here. We know. Racism, greed, and stupidity have no conscience, and it's only a matter of time for the insatiable self-destruct. Before they devour each other, we've been through it all before, and we can get through it all again. We just have to be careful. Very careful. Very, very, very careful. The madness of this narcotic is contagious. We must not get drunk on the stench of this poison. We have too much work to do. We must turn this suicidal drug into fertilizer and let our tears pour down on deserts, glaciers, and jungles, and run down the faces of good-hearted people everywhere. I cry and 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 I cry, and my tears come like a waterfall, an unending waterfall for all the victims of civilization. We have been here before, and together we can heal. I know we can. Come on. I know we can. Say it. I know we can. Come on. Say it like you mean. I know we can. I know we can. I know we can.
What I'm talking about.
Thank you for your... Can I do one more? No? Okay. I ran out of time, but thank you for your ears.
I've been playing the drums. I've been over playing the drums. You have?
Yeah, I'm an author, poet from Oakland, a couple of years ago, I wanted to share a story about gentrification.
and I wrote a short story called Holding On to My Pride, and as you see, the cover is gray for a reason, but I'm going to tell you the story of why it shows black and white of this marriage. Being from Oakland, being from the Bay, and trying to raise my daughter here, and, trying to keep up with the family tradition. My grandfather, my grandparents moved my family here. My mom was 5, and my grandfather was a substitute teacher for Oakland. And he was a part of the community. And, here I am, I was working in education, and I can't afford to live. I can't afford to survive off of my working in that field, as well as also working as a part investigation part-time to supplement my income. And I think we all can agree that cost of living has gone up. So with the whole gentrification issue, I wanted to talk about what it's like for us as natives who want to stay here, who are from here. We're trying to keep our kids here, but they're closing our schools. We don't have affordable housing and all of those different aspects. So, what I was able to do was I had read of all the articles that we were talking about, like how the churches were trying here in West Oakland for noise ordinance when they were having choir practice. The drumming circle that Lake Mayor and the neighbors complaining because they're keeping up too much noise, and how the heavy police presence because newcomers are moving here, but we are here, we're from here, but they don't know that we're from here. And so this snitching on Nextdoor and all of those things, virtual profiling online. So I took all of those elements and sometimes, made it work, but there's a poem that I want to share with you guys called Old Oakland versus New Oakland. And I say Old Oakland versus New Oakland because it came about a few years ago, 2015 Oakland Indie Awards. Mayor Schaaf was congratulating all the new businesses that were revitalizing the Oakland economy and whatever. And she said, let's give it up for the new Oakland. And I'm thinking, and I'm only, well, I was 31. I'm like, New Oakland? Like, so what did that make me? Old Oakland? Because I'm the native? And so, then there was a performer who was also from Oakland, and she asked the audience, she said, how many of y'all are from here? It was me, her, and another guy, Jamel Robinson, who made I'm from the real Oakland t-shirt. We were the only ones making all the noise, like, giving a shout out, where it was like hundreds of people, they weren't from here. That was when I realized how big this issue of gentrification is. So, we were in there with all the people with the money, in a sense. So that brought that awareness. So this poem, I hope you like it. I hope it's for us. Every morning, Monday through Friday at 7:30, 580 West is jammed. From High Street heading to San Francisco, embarked is packed like cans of sardines. The city that once wasn't seen so pretty is being taken over by techies and businesses, pushing out long-time residents and erasing our traditions and culture. We have to be quiet when we congregate because we're disturbing the peace. We have been here for over 40 years and we have to give up our stuff for them. We're making the neighborhoods unsafe and unattractive. They are too, making them look like office spaces and homes and forcing everyone to conform to their ideas. We're proud of our city, but we can't afford to live here. The land of Oakland once seen as a joke. Compared to San Francisco, we were the ghetto. America's #2 city of homicide. We were seen as dangerous. But I guess we weren't so bad at all because we were invaded by people who have privilege. It was will reverse the white flag. We have to move 30 minutes to an hour away commuting every day to go to work. We can't afford to live in Oakland when we work in Oakland. However, we put all this money into our community. When we're in certain areas, we're profiled for being in the wrong area. Hold up. This was my neighborhood until you bought the property. Snitching/racial profiling online or next door. Why don't they come out of their homes, experience the culture, to meet the long-term residents before they displace us? I have to take my freedom papers to prove I live here. It's technology versus art. White versus people of color. Downtown/uptown. Versus East Oakland. Oh wait, East Oakland is being taken over too. People don't recognize our sports teams which are in East Oakland. The Raiders and A's play at the Coliseum right next to the Oracle where the Warriors play. Yet the NBA keeps showing the bag. The fans ride back to the games and back to their hidden homes. But now they're relocating closer to San Francisco from the west to the east. I can't let them take over my city, but I don't have a choice. I use words in my voice. I have been here my whole life. My family have lived and worked here since the 60s. We give back to our communities by living and working in it. They don't care, and they're redeveloping everything. Nothing was done when we were here, but they don't like it, so local government responds to their complaints. Things change by having money. I thought being a taxpayer gave me power. No. Being a homeowner and paying property taxes gives me power. The renters can't afford to live here, well, while the property owners don't even live in Oakland, they clean it out and get the ones for money in. My city doesn't look the same anymore, and it's not for diversity. Thank you.
And now we have Charles Allensworth, who did this really beautiful display. Make sure you check it out when we're finished about Colonel Allensworth. And then after Charles, we have Takabatsi, and followed by Allensworth Levitas, and then we're going to have Clay's Dreams, and then I'm going to share another poem with one of our incarcerated poets. Here, raise your hand, Robert. He goes back to, was it Doris? 1990, so that's the beginning of the 40th celebration. And Gene in the kitchen, who made a beautiful altar and shared the great work, he goes back to the beginning, 1990. And, Abacha. Abacha goes back to the beginning, and of course me. So yeah, we like the elders, the keepers of the story of West Oakland, like way back. It was so different. It was like so different. The librarian who was the librarian when we first started, and Robert was working here at the library. There had a lot of black staff back then, and she was our only black librarian ever. Like there have been no. Yeah. So anyway, it's so good to see Robert and Lata. She's so supportive, and Jean is awesome, and yes, it's really great work. Having them come every year. And I didn't even know that Lata gave the pass. It's like wow.
There's going to be a good memorial for them next Saturday, 11 o'clock at Jeffries.
Okay.
Thank you. I want to give out to Sister Halufu for the libation. That's always powerful whenever we're having a gathering of our people. I am a descendant of Colonel Allen Allensworth, who founded the first black town in California in 1908. I chose this year to write a poem to encapsulate the story. I've been speaking on Allensworth for about 30 years. I did not grow up as a little boy in Indiana knowing anything about Allensworth. I found out about it when I was registering for classes at City College of San Francisco in 1975. And the registering person saw my last name and asked me, did you know there was a town in California called Allensworth? So that began my journey. And here's my story. This poem title is called Resilience of the Human Spirit, which I think is reflecting in our ancestors. I'm thankful that the fern is that representation today. Because a fern can grow anywhere. 1842. Allen Allensworth, a little boy who lived on a plantation, endured and survived one of the worst forms of human subjugation. He was always curious about what was inside those books. Because of his mother, Alan eventually got to take a look. Despite being enslaved, she encouraged him to learn to read. Because what is good enough for the master's children is certainly good enough for Alan. Yes, indeed. She told Alan to play school with little Tommy each and every day. That's how little Tommy learned to read anyway. But please, Alan, don't get caught. Because the owner will beat you and then put you on the slave block to be bought. Eventually, Alan learned how to read, and his mother, Phyllis Allensworth, was so proud. Yes, she was indeed. We often speak of many heroes. Phyllis Allensworth is one of our many sheroes. 1863, when the Civil War broke out, Alan escaped behind enemy lines. Finally, he was free and could leave being a slave behind. Eventually, Alan enrolled in the school to start his education, which is what his mother wanted him to do. Let's fast forward a little bit as Alan continues his journey much better equipped. 1884, Alan eventually became a minister who was ordained to preach. God called on Alan to speak the word and to teach. Because he was a reverend and was free, the Buffalo soldiers wanted him to see. They needed a chaplain that looked like them. So Alan applied for the chaplainship that was open for him. Alan was appointed chaplain in 1886. He served honorably until he retired in 1906. After the pain of war and dust dwindled away, Alan Allensworth dreamed of a town that was owned, managed, and governed by blacks someday. 1908. The town of Allensworth was founded in 1908. It grew and it prospered until about 1928. Allensworth's survival depended on the economy and water. Also, the Santa Fe Railroad thought that Allensworth no longer mattered. White settlers and ranchers complained about stopping at an all-black town. They threatened the Santa Fe Railroad not to come back. And so, the main depot stop was moved a little further up the tracks. An economy that was hampered by the train that would not stop, a dampered water supply because all those artesian wells dried up. Without the economy and water, Allensworth could not survive. Some families migrated where they could thrive. 1914. In 1914, Allen was run over by a motorcyclist and passed away. I do not agree it was an accident, as they say. I think it was because he was a powerful leader of his day. 1982. There is now a California state park named after him. They wanted to honor Allen because he shared his vision with them. The history and legacy of Allensworth is kept alive by all who speak on it and take that long, long drive. We all should stand on the shoulders of our ancestors. Thank you.
My name is Captain Bazzi. Some people know me as Douglas Coleman. I answer to both, no problem. I come straight away. Again, this 28th year anniversary of African American celebration through poetry, song, and dance. And ably, again, presented to you by Sister Wanda Severe and the West Oakland Public Library. It's 28 years, y'all. Should show us some love for that. This year's theme, resilience, is one that clearly and surely depicts our experience here as African Americans, as black people. It has certainly been one of resilience. And so the two poems that I have selected to share with you today I'm going to do them in reverse from the way they appear in the program. The first poem, The Whispered Voice. I am the whispered voice from across the crowded room. I move through the smoke, noise, gloom, and doom to deliver a message of promise and hope that you might endure, prosper, and cope. I whisper to your remembrance that you may unleash temperance. Go forth from darkness into light, shunning the wrong, embracing the right. My whispered voice is focused, never profane, disdain, nor cussed. It speaks of ancient truth, scattered seeds to bear fruit. I whisper that back to African nationalistic spit, the kind that make you have a fit. Now I speak of proud yesterdays, days of glory and parleys, when scholarship we did have, with pyramids that shall not fail, the ocean waters we did sail, with many adventures and tall to tale. The heads of the old turn and speak of lost journeys we still see. Their bold and unyielding continence does not betray their rigorous performance. The words of Ptahhotep, as true today as a tracker step, them say, wisdom is as rare as emeralds, yet can be found among the windy equerel. An insightful observance I love to tell. You may ignore my whisperings if you can, but the ancients still call to the first man. Do you understand? If so, raise your hand, and raise it high and proud. My whispered voice is not loud. The past is but a continuation of the present, and time is a perspective with a curve and bent. Rise like the bend of a bird, or out of chaos, like you've heard. Reclaim the glory of the ancients. Shake loose the chains, smell the incense. Yes, my whisperings can be seductive, so settle, man, no need to be destructive. It's about the love of truth and the rest with the root. As my whisperings withdraw and grow faint, think I can, not I can't. No need to wonder or ask who. It's not outside, but inside of you. This final poem, I recently made some changes to it, and it has already gone to publishing, and will be coming out in a local anthology here that you'll have an opportunity to pick up. The poem, A New Song. Let's teach the youth a new song, with rhymes and verses that they belong. Sing it with full-throated exaltation, the challenges of each generation. Make it smooth and mellow, with nurturing words to follow. Sing praise and encouragement, model peace and contentment. Mix in some scorching reggae, drum and bass. Kick up your heels, wind up your waist, but no cavace. Harmonize virtue and truth and justice. Croon to the heights of the summer solstice. Let's teach the youth a new song, with rhymes and verses that they belong. Singing it with that slick, sweet spacing, all jazzed up with improvisation and praising. Forsake not the mournful spirituals, fear not African traditions and rituals. Let the chorus sing of days of old, revealing stories and adventures untold. Our ancestors stand at the dawn of humanity, praising the one and building community. Let's teach the youth a new song, with rhymes and verses that they belong. Sing clearly from earth to the stars, from high spiritual bliss to maddening wars. Acknowledge the flow of dualism. Embrace your truism. Serenade the seeds of development through work and contentment. Sing soulful and shout out kindness through melodic tones of tenderness. Life is a chorus of strength and courage, like sailing on an ocean's voyage, finding a loving wife, dancing in the dance of life. That's right, thank you.
Good afternoon. Good to see everybody.
Speak more into the mic, Alva.
More into the mic, she said. I am blessed, and so are you, to have Thomason coming up here with his mama.
Yes.
And Thomason is one of those pillars of the society. He's been here with Dr. Osamari, I think forever, right? The foundation here. And also, I got a lot of my dance training at Everybody's Dance Art Center, and then later City Dance. Got to perform with a whole bunch of great folks there. I want to thank Wanda as well. Thank you, Wanda, for just being so dedicated to keeping your people's stuff out in the world. Okay, because we got a lot of stuff, don't we? Yes. We got a lot of stuff. I also want to thank Dr. Osamari, because she's, like I said, that pillar. She got a lot of people started in their careers, and they are leaders out there, so thank you. I also want to give a shout out to Miss Abacha over there. She's paved the way for so many. So when you look around this room and you see folks get up here, some of us have paved the way, some of us have walked behind, in that nice little paved way and have not had to, go through all the hardships and, the pushbacks that they have. So thank you for your dedication. Today I'm going to read a poem from my godmother, Anna Lee Walker. She was an educator in Oakland for about 30 years. Here's her book, Golden Nuggets of Black Culture. She has a lot of poems in it, a lot of stories about her family. Her father was an educator in North Carolina. Her mom was a kindergarten teacher for about 50 years. And those stories are rich because her father was also a poet. So I'm going to read for you today, Mother Africa. Hey! Mother Africa whispered in the wind, words of courage, words of love. And we, the children of her womb, heard her voice, and we sang. Deep river, my soul is over Jordan. Deep river, Lord, I wanna cross over into your ground. Mother Africa danced in raindrops, and our feet felt her rhythm, and we danced to her tune of hope, and we sang. I got shoes, you got shoes, all of God's children got shoes. When I get to heaven, gonna put on my shoes, I'm gonna shout all over God's heaven. Heaven, everybody talking about heaven, ain't going to heaven. Heaven, I'm gonna shout all over God's heaven. Mother Africa cried into the water, and we, the children of her diaspora, tasted the salt of her tears and felt her sorrow at the loss of so many of her beautiful black children. And we sang, sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. our feet, her prayers in our hearts, her faith to our spirit. We, the children of her womb, feel her presence. And our response to her is called Black Soul.
So I'm going to be sharing, yes. Oh, you weren't here, sorry. Come on up, please. I can go afterwards, or I can go first, and then I'm not, it's not my poem, it's Donald C. note, but yeah, you were supposed to be, but I'm up here now. So you come after me. So this is We're Behind the Walls again, Lancaster, California. It's like Mojave Desert, it must be pretty warm there. Because I don't think there's air conditioning in prisons. Is there? I don't think there is. I don't think there's a lot of heat, and I don't think there's any air conditioning. So, Donald C. Note Hooker, he did 2 pieces, and one of the pieces, there's actually some art that goes with it, which I didn't bring up here, but you can look at it a little bit later. It's called, it has to do with America being a place of incarceration, and he has the United States with bars in front of it. So anyway, I have it over here. My country is still not free, the sordid land of hypocrisy. Of thee I sing, land where my fathers died, land where the slaves did cry, on every mountainside, prisons reign supreme. Have another one. White noise. High ceiling, windowless room, soundless except for the white noise, a bright light, humanless except me, furnitureless except doors, knob, queasy of uneasy, a hot mess, but nevertheless, I wait in this twilight zone of a disaster, seconds into minutes, minutes into hours, still feet, a quick in pace, a slow jog, complexity of thought, rise and fall. Like a statistical graph, wondering, searching, did I see? Crashing the disturbance of the undisturbable, deputy good cop and officer bad cop, hurled accusations of machinations I could not have done. I remained silent. Silence brokered for a cigarette, to which I refused until the swiftness of roasted caffeine filled the room. And this particular work, White Noise, was created for an exhibit in New York. They have these different cafes that have participated in this exhibit, which is going on presently. Started January, goes through March, and it's called Works in Coffee. And so if you look on the website that I put in the program, you can read more by C. Note. You can also write him and let him know what you thought about his work that he shared today with us. So now we have plates.
Good afternoon. My name is Quincy Dreams, and I'm going to perform a piece for y'all. It's called Black Man's Tea.
I don't know who else will listen, so I have to say it here. Because the world has no sympathy for a black man's tea. Do black lives matter to anybody except black people? Because all lives can't matter until black lives do too. But how is that even possible when we live in a world where BET and ESPN are the only channels you can see an all-black cast, and 99% of the time that involves a black athlete or actor acting their ass, or doing their best tap dance, or trying to get a pass, or clinging for dear life to the privilege of being upper class? If only that $1 million check was a bulletproof vest. But who am I to judge? Stereotypes I was black, when black is what America made me. And now that I proudly claim my blackness, America treats me like I'm crazy, and lately, every name in a hashtag has made me feel more helpless. Even Black Lives Matter became a perfect target for America to gun down in fear, claiming black people are selfish, a reverse racist, and just tasteless of my personal favorite, anti-police. As if we should be grateful for them trying to lynch us in 2017. And it will be a cold day in hell before we forget all in Sterling. But every day and every dead body is another reminder that tomorrow, it could be me. I don't know who else will listen, so I have to say it here. Because the world has no sympathy for a black man's tears. As a people, what are we fighting for? What could have been or what's going to be? Are we fighting for a better room in America's burning house? Are we fighting to change our children's destiny? Because it's our duty to teach them we aren't just people of color, we're people of conscience. Elevating our minds to revolutionary heights where survival is our only option. So I'm looking at body cams and police reform bills like, what are those? Because if liberation is the goal, then that's not even coming close. And goddamn America for force-feeding us distractions instead of digesting its woes. Breaking news, Lady Liberty might be a cold bitch, but at least she got pedicure toes. I hope that didn't go over your head, but never forget what Zero Neil Hurston said. If you are silent about your pain, they will kill you and say you enjoyed it. Now I'll say if we continue to be silent about our pain, America will exterminate us and say we earned it. But I see the light of the world in us. All power to the people because of the people I trust, and fuck the police because there's no justice, there's just us. Meaning, from here on, existence is resistance. Revolution is evolution. And we will keep resisting until our dreams of freedom become more than an illusion. I don't know who else will listen, so I have to say it here. Because the world has no sympathy for a black man's tears.
So now we skipped over some of my apologies. We have Amina Salam, who's been here for all day, to share with us my silence. Just met her yesterday as I was walking over. I was actually at the Black Muhammad Culture Center because one of the persons who's been giving us cookies for, I don't know, not 28 years, but maybe 25, is Bilal Sabir, who has no cookie, no sugar, no eggs. I mean, but if you're diabetic, don't eat the cookie. It's got sugar, but so anyway, so he's donated cookies and I have to keep them up. So your sister said she wanted to share with us.
Greetings of peace. Thank you, Sister Wanda, for inviting me here. This will be my first time performing at the Black History Month celebration. And I'm like Eric Badu, I'm an artist, so I am sensitive about my stuff. So, so I will be ironically delivering a piece called My Silence that I wrote, and in looking at the theme, it kind of coincides with what it's about, representing resilience and what that means. And this poem is really close to me because at a time in my life, I was trapped or a victim of a low frequency. So I'm learning to just like get out of that space in my life just to connect more with people. You know, we need to do that, especially as a community, to evolve. So this is called My Silence, and I hope you like it. Silence communicates. Silence verbally illustrates. Silence can be just as loud as the aggressive protesters. Silence befriends nature, walks with the most beautiful birds, flies with eagles, and wakes up to the sounds of roosters at Fajr. Silence Dances to Stevie Wonder, a place in the sun while seasoning chicken to smothered potatoes on Sundays. Silent smiles on these days. My silence is never subjugated to puppetry and manipulators, instigators. This silence descends from the best of innovators. This silence stands in ranks with trees firmly rooted from beneath the soil. This silence replenishes like the sun, giving my locks nutrients to stay connected to my true human nature. This silence is flawed, but comes through when it needs to, just after sun and the moon do at stated times. This silence is weakness, is not weakness. It is strength, confidence, wisdom, and beauty. My silence is golden, yes, and also gleam. My silence is listening to the sounds of the sunset with my atom at my grip. My silence is my heartbeat conversing with my ancestors, teaching me about their struggles, journeying into these foreign lands, staying on the run. My silence is soft-spoken but speaks well, standing out when necessary. My silence is active, stay in motion with traffic. My silence is grateful and able to achieve. My silence was a mistake and I love me. I love me, so as a result, my soul is at ease. My silence is underestimated as weakness. Most of the time it doesn't speak. My silence frowns at the arrogance but keeps it moving like sounds of blackness and keeping my head to the sky like soul to soul. My silence engages with uprightness, intellectually, vertically, and horizontally living out the created story. My silence volume can get turned up, but chooses midways. Clear routes, no road rage, just silence. Thank you.
Sister Mosquito. Are you still here? Oh, there you go. Yeah, this was a request. Screaming for Eric Gardner. Yeah, we want to hear that. So,
This poem is dedicated to Eric. Oh, I'll put it right here.
I don't know, needs to be in his face. Got it close.
Thank you. This poem is dedicated to Eric and Erica Gardner.
Yes.
I hope I can do it. So, as I watched that footage on television, I wondered, where were the people? He just died in silence. Nobody screamed. Nobody said anything. And I couldn't, it pushed me to that place we go when we got arrested. I'm in a chokehold. My hands are cuffed. A knee in my back, but that's not enough. I gotta die. So you can claim tough. Somebody scream for me. Somebody please. They're holding me down. I can't breathe. No life-saving antics, no bringing me back. Just die, nigga. Die. You ain't nothing, just black. Somebody scream for me. Somebody please. They're holding me down and I can't breathe. Stalking my children, my wife, my life. Still lynching and hating and saying, hang him high from a tree. Don't you know that I know that you fear me? Don't you know that I know that you long to be me? Truth is, you're the slave. You don't want to be free. Somebody scream for me. Somebody, please. They're holding me down and I can't breathe. Mama, it seems whatever I do, I'm making me cry. Mama, I'm crying too. I'm crying from trying every day not to die. Single cigarettes for sale and dignity too. But this I'm dying. So tired of crying and living the lie that black men ain't trying. They just want to die, to be dying. Somebody scream for me. Somebody please. They're holding me down and I can't.
daughter this year. My younger daughter is preschool teacher, Edie Boone, who's a wonderful artist. That's Eric Gardner's auntie. Yeah, so now she's lost her great niece as well. Yeah, Edie's lives in Berkeley now. So New York. Well, now it comes to me, and I was thinking, I wrote this new poem today. You know how we do. And it's to the, I just saw, when I thought about resiliency, I thought about the rubber band, right? You know, like we do this. And I was like, and I thought about the song by the Spinners, Rubber Band Man. It's like, okay, that was, I was like, I gotta write a poem to that song. And yeah, and so I was so busy organized, I didn't have time to write my poem. And I'm like, okay, you gotta, it needs to be on time. And I almost made it. I got here like 5 minutes later. But anyway, we don't necessarily pay attention to that time anyway, but yes we do, because this building is going to close when they say it's going to close. And it's going to shut us down, so we cannot just ignore the gregarian system. So anyway, I asked my sister, Michelle, if she would do some kind of rhythm, you know, to the rubber band man kind of thing, because we haven't had a chance to practice because she couldn't open my link. So anyway, so I'm going to need somebody to hold my mic because I got to look at my computer, and we're going to try to work this. And if you know the song, you can like clap and you can like, or whatever, okay? Let me go get my computer. Yeah, open my phone, you're still going to have it. I have another poem, but I kind of want to read this one. Okay. So I'm making references to African spiritual systems, particularly Ifa, the Orisha system. So, and I'm also referencing like how it transformed in the diaspora. So I'm making references to like the Loa, you know, the spiritualization in the Huduan tradition. I'm from New Orleans, but I didn't know this back then. And then, you know, I'm sort of freestyling. So afterwards, if you know something about this more than I do, you can give me some suggestions because this is a draft. Okay, so Michelle, come on up, and you can like look at my notes. I highlighted the parts that I did. All right, so oh, you opened it. No. Oh, she's got it. Okay, so I don't know what I named it. Elastic Moments or Haunted by King Leopold's Ghost. Yeah. So Gede says to the Loa, hand me down my walking cane, hand me down my hat. Hurry now, don't be late, cuz we ain't got time to chat. You and me, we're gonna out to catch the latest sounds. Oh yeah, it's guaranteed to blow your mind so high you won't come down, no. Hey y'all, prepare yourself for oh yeah. Yeah, you never heard the sounds of oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay. You might lose control when oh yeah comes to town. Listen close. Listen close, she's oh yeah, yeah. Swinging her skirts parts proud. Right now. Okay. See oh yeah dancing the masquerade. Must be something being to get a bitter and rage. You're bound to lose control when oh yeah starts to jam. Oh yeah, breeze guarantees to blow your mind. Look at her in the treetops. Oh Lord, this deity is out of sight. Everything that she does makes the black girl seem to come out right. Once I went to hear oh yeah, Oshuni Yemen play at a disco outside of town. I was so surprised I was hypnotized by the sound these goddesses put down. When I saw oh yeah, tall, lovely with a beard stretch, a band between her toes, hey, I laughed so hard because oh yeah got down when she finally reached her goal.
And you ought to prepare yourself for oh yeah, yeah. You never heard it sound like oh yeah, yeah. You're bound to lose control when oh yeah starts to jam.
Her cyclones,
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
How much of the stuff does she think she can stand? So much rhythm, grace, and debonair. And then she had the nerve to rip her left toe till her knee got the feeling in her head, y'all. Ah, come on, baby.
Hey,
yourself for the lady of your dreams.
yeah, you never heard it sound like melodies, start to spin.
When oh yeah starts to jam, moving up and down across the land, from New Page to Tucson, proud, self-willed, tall and comely, here in Amazon, Queen Khalifa and the rest. Fearless in the face of danger, folks get out of the way. Her rap is devastating. Move out of the way. Just move it. Just move it. Just move it. Just move it. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
She is the final bed, mother of 9. Hey, Google did for her. All kindly spine. Just move it. Just move. Oh yeah. Oh, cool. Oh, show me. Give me a job. Move it. Just move it. Move it. Oh yeah, it's the feature of the Niger River. She is represented by 2 naked swords, which symbolize catching her familiar wild buffalo by the horns. Hear the tunnel of tornadoes. Oh yeah, winnie winnie. Oh yeah, winnie winnie. Get down. Get down. Oh yeah, get down. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, 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 for the
We are running a little bit over, but not too much. So Leroy, would you like to come up and share something for open mic? And then we've got Isola, followed by JJ, and then Charles. In that order. And yes. Oh, all right, you're after the last person I mentioned.
Oh, okay. Your poem, I can relate to one.
So this is an outfit. Although I'm a poet, it's not about me. It's about one of my black ancestors that has been working to get more recognition the last 8 years. And his name was Joe Keepers. Joe Keepers lived in Oakland. He was the first person that had a home studio like me. And because he had a home studio, because he was a musician and producer, people came to his studio like Tony, and Bo, MC Hammer, all the Oaktown people that we know. But he didn't get the bling bling. So for 8 years, I've been working on getting this bird so noticed. 3 years ago, we told the mayor, in act, we told the mayor that August should be Joe Keeper's month in Oakland. And she said, yeah. So for the last 3 years, every August, Joe Keeper's month in Oakland. And I'm so glad that finally our film documentary is almost done. It'll be out hopefully in June. Pay respect to the late Joe Keeper. He was a blind musician and engineer. Like I said, he engineered the creators of Oakland from MC Hammer to the Gold. So for 8 years, I can say we finally made it and it's finally done. So keep the lookout for it in August. So we have the East Side Arts Line. And thank you, Wanda, for doing this.
Yes.
It's not too late. And there's Fed Santana. Michael Slager would have walked if Santana hadn't caught him on camera killing Walter Scott. Dues is owed to these and many more record keepers of the trouble we see. Just $1 a piece from the millions of us can help each one a whole lot, with a whole lot of financial release, and help them safely flee from their city's police. When dues are owed, it's never too late to pay. Dues are owed. It's not too late for us to pay.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Pleasure to be here. I never knew that Oakland had 2 libraries. You know, some great people I see that have come out of Oakland. And I see a lot of people who I first met in San Francisco. They're here. So it's a great pleasure to be able to address them. Now, believe it or not, this poem I'm going to recite to you is a poem that I recited at the Million Man Club located in Chicago some years back. So, I hope you'll forgive me. It's called Hero Man. There's no such thing as a Goliath. People in heat to be free, especially those with families rich in battlefield legacy. For certain, the likes of a Christmas addicts cannot really die, nor can nationhood and brotherhood be just another lie. Now, what great soul would dare to say Toussaint the Overture is dead and forgotten? For certain, Toussaint is alive and well, and all of us at bottom. But of the hordes of men who often balk when pricing life's flesh line, many fail to live full lives at the prospect of their dying. But out of the bush, time and time again, the lights of Marcus Garvey emerges, prophetic, magnificent, and brilliantly defiant to authority and all the purges. Goliath has 1,000 fears, and easy are they seem, but we have nothing to fear, for in this we remain supreme. For out of the magical universe, the message of life is clear. Prepare to fight, give your life to the things you hold most dear. And at death's door, when ere ye knock, no longer touched by the fray, your golden performance, the one like Dr. King's, the part that could not die, it will live forever in the streams your children will nourish by. Thank you.
All right.
No, I'm not reading my poem. I just have to take a moment now that Brother Charles Blackwell is here. Thank you, Wanda, for referring me to him, because that poem you heard earlier was my poetic debut. I've never did a poem on that story. I met with Brother Charles at Panera Bread over some soup and salad, and I just wanted my first poem to be tight. And believe me, that's why it was so tight. I didn't understand the flow of 1, 2, 3 order and all that. And the way I originally did it, it wasn't in no 1, 2, 3 order. So I'm just here to say thank you, Charles Blackwell, and I'm looking forward to doing much more with you in the future.
Martin Luther King made a statement, didn't want to be remembered as somebody with a Nobel Prize or Doctorate of Divinity, minister of a big church, but what did I do to help somebody? Maybe we could continue to make leaps and bounds, which we're not doing like we used to, if we keep that in mind. Money is nice, but like Marvin X said, money is not our problem. Anytime you put, somebody got $1 million contracts and tennis shoe contracts and $1 million to pay a player with a basketball team and throw it all away and, acting a fool, putting guns on each other in the locker room. So, now it's all gone, so money's not the problem. So what do we do? Maybe some of you others, because it helps me stay focused. What can I do to help somebody? Anyway, so I just wanted to throw that at you because something's wrong with the picture that's out here. Anyway, okay, I'll do what I might be better at running my mouth.
That's why we bonded so well.
If Coltrane were a poet, zoom ding clash bam, boobity 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 boom bang 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 boom 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 boom, it would all cease. The Blue Note would be the national anthem, and Spirit House would become the White House. Elvin Jones sitting quiet as the drums stand silent, and all the second line musicians giving homage to whom homage is due. Women would bow, and nobody would have to tell them to, because the words would be spoken, and somebody's got to listen to all of this. Words, words, words traveling like the speed of light, 186,000 miles per second. Even Sonia would sit quiet, saying, "Who dat? Who dat?" Rasan Roland Kirk doing the moonwalk. And it's all be scientifically proven in a fact-so matter, and the dissertation that says non-fiction proven to be upside down on the literal journey of who put the who inside the metaphor of it ain't me. And I got lost in between the Harlem Shuffle. Words traveling once again. See the train go by. 186,000 miles per second. Words atop the page all the way to the bottom. Written at 3 o'clock in the morning, at 4 o'clock in the morning, just like New York City round the clock, Newark round the clock, Philly round the clock, zoom, ding, clash, bang, boom, boom, boom. Train, train, train. See train run, see train run. Train, train. Train gone with the wind.
Charles can tell you about a Black Writing Group, page 86.
We got a group. I was and some other people. Anyway, we kind of got organized. We're called Cousin Zyka, the original Zykas in Sacramento. It was headed up by a lady named Ethel Ballard. She came out of it's a Negro theater in Cleveland. Goes way back years ago. So she wound up living in Sacramento. She organized this group. Had as many as 65 people. It got kind of out of hand. Everybody's meeting at a house. Said, wait a minute, there's too many people here. But out of that group, 2 of them were picked up by the big boys. Some of you may know Terrace Grimes. She got picked up by a major publisher. Another person wrote children's books. And out of 65, maybe another 20 did their own self-publication, and maybe another 30 did a chapbook. So people wound up getting published somewhere. So we're like a support group, a writers guild, get-together, and we meet once a month. And if you would like, get in touch with Wanda or Chikwadi. She's in the back right there, and you can give me the information, but it might get lost. Anyway, you know, if you let us know, we'll collect your information, and I'll be glad to have you because, trying to build something where it's almost like mission impossible. Anyway, check us out if you get a chance.
All right. Tom is also a really wonderful visual artist, and he's a show opening next week. It's at Spirit House, which is on Adeline and West Grand, right close. And they have regular music, they have regular concerts, really late at night. Is that okay?
February the 9th. February the 9th, if you get there at 6, I think it's at 5, I'm not sure, but get there at 6 and you're doing good. February the 9th, that's Friday. It's Kaya Fortune.
Yeah, Kaya Fortune, Tomei is the only woman, but she's going to represent David Graves and Charles Blackwell. It's going to be really awesome, really awesome. So anyway, it's really close. Don't go where I point, but it's West Grand and Adeline, and it's called Spirit Gallery. It's owned by a black person. And Spirit House, thank you. Is Spirit House like Amir Baraka?
Right.
Okay.
And it's a jazz quartet that's going to be playing, and come out, it's free.
Yeah, and then on Sunday, that Sunday I think, there's going to be an artist panel, and that's going to be what time? It's in Wanda's Picks. I put it in, what is this month? Oh, February. Yeah, so it's in February, Wanda'sPicks.com. You can look it up there. You don't have to remember it, but it's so close. It's like walking here. Thank you, Charles. One more, Emma. Oh, no, I haven't gotten him. Oh. No, she's right here. Come on up, Emma. Come on up. We didn't have a sign-in. I would have doing a sign-in.
Thank you, Wanda. Good afternoon, everyone. My poem is titled, There's a Hole in My Soul. There's a hole in my soul, deep, murky like the Mississippi River, never high, always low. There's no ebb and flow, just flat and dark. No light, is what I know. The current is fast with an undertow of quicksand without release. Is there someone out there searching for my soul in me? There is a longing not yet defined, for there is no reason or rhyme for what I've been told. Somewhere there is a stitch, a patch, a seam that can mend the hole in my soul. Will I find the fix before my soul should cease? Maybe the hole in my soul seeks final release to that place of serenity and peace, where rest is eternal without world cares.
So were there any others that were, oh, come on, Chuck White. Oh, and you have a poem too? Okay, super. And Chuck White is doing some wonderful things with this band. Did you already have the party for the folks at the...
the aquarium? Oh, yeah. We had a great party. Thank you, Wanda. The thing that we're doing is, I get to see so many of my mentors. I think the last time I came a few years ago was just like, wow. I learned from so many people how to dance, how to perform poetry, how to do poetry with music, Charles. So, yeah, thank you. I work with a band called Baboon. It's headed up by a brother from Nigeria, but we're like from all over the place, Ohio, California, different parts of Africa. I was telling the brother that I accidentally met Rosa Parks one day, many years ago. And I told him the story. He was like, well, you gotta put that in the show. And I was like, really? I never thought of that. So I was forced to write something about it. I spotted her from way across the room. The signature braids atop her head, her silver crown. And although her back was to me, I still knew it was she. The black woman who on December 1st, 1955, refused to give up her front row seat on that Montgomery bus. Miss Rosa Parks now stood facing me. And all I could say was, I thank thee. I thank you. I thank you for sitting down, for refusing to be anything less than a black African queen. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Miriam Rhea, and I've been here, I think, one time in all these years, but I grew up in Berkeley. That sister that was talking about the 1960s, well, try 1942 when my parents came out here. And I am blessed and thankful that my friend Carmen invited me. I grabbed one of my notebooks and I'm going to read, I'm going to blend two poems together, which I guess I need my other pair of glasses.
Want me to hold the mic for you?
Maybe, but I just need to put on a different pair of glasses so I can see better.
You can use mine.
No, I have one for distance and one for close. Thank you. Yeah, I do too. Because I couldn't deal with the bifocal. So, I think I'll be all right. I'm just going to blend these two, and it's called, in 2010 I wrote this one called A Sandwich for the Poor, but just sitting there and listening to all this inspiration, I see how this other one written in 2002 is part of the sandwich. So, hate ingested to the nth degree, still trying to get these chains off of me. The bottle, the bullet, and even the flea. Look to the elders crying over me. Looking without is not the key. Gonna take the spirit in me to set me free. A sandwich for the poor. Despite all the negativity and nods of nothingness, God's light, true light shines through. Ours is to serve it up in a sandwich. Serve it up in a sandwich, sister, for those who are starving. Thank you for being here, and thank you for letting me share.
Well, as we wind down on our 20th annual, thank you all so much for joining us. And if you took pictures and if you took videos, yeah, I have Facebook, but I also have an email, and it's in the program, info@wellnesspicks.com. Really love to be able to share what you collected. And also want to let you know that I'm going to be featured next week in a poetry reading. The poet laureate for Alameda was here today, Dana, and actually I'm on the front page of the Alameda Sun. One of the featured poets, the other poet's name is Amos White. And we're going to be, running down on February 7th from 7 to 9. It's a free event. And I'm rocking my Malagasy hat because I'm into Madagascar. And you're not going to be hearing the same poem that I did here because this was like a moment to cherish.
Where is this?
It's at the Frame Vet Center, which is right. I live in Alameda. I don't live in Oakland anymore. I've lived in Oakland for a minute now. It's Oakland, but particularly West Oakland. But anyway, I live not far from French Vet. It's right on Paru, P-A-R-U, and Lincoln. It's a house that the person who owned it donated to the community for arts. So they have a gallery in there. It's a big Victorian. And they have regular first Wednesday poetry readings, and then on the third Thursday, I think, they have poetry writing workshops and everything, so it's really nice. I wanted to share with you a book that I'm reading right now that is simply awesome. It's called Never Caught: The Washington's Relentless Pursuit of Their Runaway Slave Owner Judge, and she was successful. It's a true story about this young woman who escaped from captivity. It's called The Never Caught: The Washington's Relentless Pursuit of Their Runaway Slave Owner Judge. So, you know, you think about the first president of the United States and how they would not free this woman. She had to always look over her shoulder like for decades. The author is Erica Armstrong Dunbar. And what they would do is Philadelphia would have a thing where if you had a person that was enslaved after the 6 months, they were free. And so what they would do is they send their folks back to South. So then they start the whole thing all over again. And she was like, yeah, so she had to leave home. Don't forget Avacha's reading at Cesar Chavez on the 4th.
Fourth Saturday of the month, 3 to 5 p.m. And we usually have about 10 open mics, and since we have 6 major storytellers, it will probably be about 5 or 6 open mics. If you don't get there first, to sign up. Unless you can dig up Marcus Garvey from the grave, or you already rehearsed, and you will be out for something to read. So be there on Saturday.
And I want to recognize Christy Say, who was one of my favorite librarians here. Yeah, for many years. She's an Aquarius. We say happy birthday in advance. And she might be retiring, but right now she's running the main library. So she's the branch librarian at the main branch in downtown. Any other announcements? Yes.
Yesterday, we went, my husband and I, we went to see at the Black Repertory Theater about the Port Chicago incident and so forth. Really, really, really good and so forth. We heard about the incident and so forth, but actually watched them portray it live on stage was really wonderful. So they're still, I think, a performances today and then maybe on Sunday, but it really is worth if you have the time to go check it out, actually.
Yeah, so I'm glad they brought it back. That is a really good production. And then the sister she's the oldest park ranger. Is it Betty Soskin? Yeah, Betty Soskin is having a book party at Jeffrey's this month. Yeah, the book's out. Yeah, so you get your copy autographed. You can get it on Wanda's Picks. I don't know about the book. It's this month, the book party for her. It's there, Wanda's Picks. And also, you might not want to miss the play Skeleton Crew about Detroit. They're closing the last factory. It's at Marin Theater Company in Mill Valley. And that's through the 18th, and then it's going to move to Palo Alto the theater works. Anything else? Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Hello, all. I work for the Oakland Public Conservatory of Music, and I do want to invite you all out to our new space. So we have been blessed to find a space after the gentrification virus, about that. But we are on ground level at the California Hotel, right down the street, not too far. And we have classes for youth and adults. We're in the school district. We also have a Saturday school for youth, and we have evening classes for adults. We have some flyers over there, so please take one when you go and help us spread the word. Thank you.
And then, I also wanted to mention that the San Francisco Indie Festival is coming. It started on the 1st, and they've got some films that, this is their 20th year, that they're sort of going back to down memory lane. And last time there was a film about the Mardi Gras Indians, and they've got some other good ones coming up. So you might want to look at SFU.
Yes. Hello, everybody. One quick announcement. So Sunday, February 25th is the Black Joy Parade. If you haven't heard about it, then you will hear about it. This is, as far as I know, the first of its kind happening in the heart of Oakland. We're